do that.
If anything, laugh at it. Laugh at it as much as you can.
I'm gonna show you real quick. I left the slide down here. Can you guys see kind of down at the bottom? So I did include notes down here. So on certain slides, I didn't add any here. I thought it was self-explanatory. But on certain slides, I did add notes to help you understand. And even on some, I included some hyperlinks to articles and things just to help you feel more comfortable teaching. And so, but I figured this is pretty self-explanatory and can help you along the way as you're teaching brand new material for the first time. So after celebrating failures and explaining that it's okay to fail, we are going to go into who is Qualcomm. And during these slides, what you need to do is let the students know that Qualcomm is a supporter of the Tech Trek Camp, and that Qualcomm's mission is to inspire the next generation of STEM professionals. And so they want to provide opportunities like this to the campers in order to inspire and encourage them to explore the world of STEM. And so with this, these are just some key tidbits that Qualcomm has provided that they want the students to know about them. So Qualcomm was founded, and you could read the bullet points to the students. You know, they were founded in 1985 by Irwin Jacobs and 6 other engineers. Their name comes Qualcomm, Quality Communications. They are known as a company of inventors, so they like to invent. And just like Qualcomm engineers invent, our campers will be given the opportunity to also invent throughout this week. They invent the smart and smartphones. So they've created the technology that allows smartphones to do all of those things that we love about our smartphones. They do employ people from all over the world, so they're not just found in San Diego, but they do have offices all across the whole entire world. And they developed something called CDMA, or Code Division Multiple Access. I'm not going to get into much what CDMA is with the students, but basically all you have to let them know is that it launched high-speed mobile connectivity for our smartphones. Basically, cell phones were once called analog, and with CDMA, it allowed us to have that really high-speed connectivity, so we're able to stream and download and do all those amazing things that we can nowadays with our cell phones. Vanessa, is there anything that you would add there with CDMA?
Sorry, I said no. You're all good. I can give some tidbits about Susie, who kind of discovered this whole CDMA.
Is Susie a woman?
That's true. Susie's a woman.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, she's a senior vice president at Qualcomm. And yeah, in 97, I think she said, she created the CDMA ability in phones. So it's pretty cool.
Yes,
yeah,
so
I
can
name's
mention Susie. She could have been
Susie Armstrong.
Susie Armstrong.
Yeah.
Let me find her. Okay.
Yeah, Susie Armstrong. And she's the one that has a quote. We asked her to include a quote in the notebook. So that's her quote right there in the first page of the notebook. And so she's the one that invented the CDMA. So you could say, I'm a woman inventor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so some other known facts about Qualcomm is that they created airplane mode. So anybody who has flown on an airplane and set your phone to airplane mode understands that that's one of their most recognizable patents. And we're going to get into patents in a second. They are the leader in developing 5G technology, which is that super fast connectivity. They are a fabless semiconductor company in the world, the largest fabless semiconductor company. They make all those little chips that go into cell phones and other devices. Semiconductors. Do you girls understand how to maybe teach semiconductors if a camper asks, well, what's a semiconductor? For me, just if I were to teach middle school students this, I would say, well, a conductor conducts electricity, right? And so it has the capability of really being able to have electricity flow through it. But with technical devices, you always don't want to have too much electricity and you don't want them to get too hot. So semiconductors, for example, like silicone, allows us to control the amount of heat and electricity that we want to go through our devices. And so these semiconductors allow us to do that. And so we create these chips that then go into these devices, which give us all these amazing capabilities. Does that make sense? Caitlin?
Is there any chance you could write that in the notes?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be
yes,
great.
I can. I'll send you guys some extra notes and write that down. I should have written that there. I'm taking notes. Okay. And what I'll do is
by the way, there will be no tests on this, okay?
No.
So, and you have to make sure you stress that to the girls. There will be no tests on this, but they do have notebooks to write little notes in if they're interested in. You know, I just went and looked up fabless semiconductors so that I understood a little bit more about it as we were sitting here talking on the phone. So there are things that you can do with these little bits of info.
Yeah. And they work with major phone manufacturers like AT&T and Verizon because they're selling their chips to these major companies. And they have over 6,000 patents. Now, some students might ask, well, what's a patent? And so a patent is actually something you apply for, and you can let kids know that, but it basically grants a property right to an inventor. And so what that means is it prevents others from producing or selling someone's inventions, ideas, which we call intellectual property or IP. And Qualcomm is all about protecting IP, and that's why they're always applying for patents. And so they have tons. And so I did provide a paperclip example there. So for example, you could go to the grocery store and use this as an activity where you could promote discussion with the students. You don't want to just be talking to them on Friday. So ask them, how many of you guys have used a paperclip? You know, and the kids will raise their hand. Well, if you went and bought a paper clip, can you use it? Yeah, it's my paper clip. I bought it, right? So have the kids kind of talk about this. Could you sell it if you wanted to? Yeah, it's your paper clip. You could pretty much do what you want with it. But do you have the rights to any other paper clip? So have the kids think about that. I could buy a paper clip and that paper clip be mine now, but really I have no rights to any other paper clips out there. But the inventor rules are different. Once they've applied for a patent, they basically will make money when they either made the product that they then sold to you or sold the right to make the paper clip you own. So they could have sold the right for someone else to make it. And so that's kind of how patents work. And so patents, once you receive a patent, you own the rights to the idea behind your design, your product. And there's so much information about patents and different types of patents, but we just want the kids to know just the very gist of this information. And that's it.
And just one other thing about a patent, and I don't think you said it on the next page, is that they typically only last for a period of time.
Yeah, that's true. I could put that in the notes too.
I would say, you know, because at some point it will expire and it goes into the public domain, or somebody can make a tweak on it and reapply for a new patent. using some new and improved. And that's where the whole concept of new and improved comes from.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll add that into our notes too.
Question?
Yeah, I know that in the past with patent laws, it was extremely important to keep good records. And that's where like the science journals and stuff came in. It's not legally needed nowadays, but it used to be. So it's still, but we're having students journal, right? Are we?
Yes.
So just want to know if that you want to connect those.
Yeah, that's a good point, Heidi, because that's true. That's way back when, that's how I learned it too. When you had an idea and you applied for a patent, you had to show your notes, and all your journal records to prove that idea was truly yours. And so that's kind of what she's talking about. So we can add some of that into the notes. It might be interesting facts for some of the campers to know about.
Well, especially since at least one of our STEMinists was an inventor. I think two of them were. So, I'm sure they journal. I'm sure they, what did Hannah Herbst do? She's only 18, 19 years old when she had her ideas. So she certainly wasn't school trained to do it. And so I think it's important for people to think about that. Great point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So after we kind of talk about that, I just kind of threw in these tidbits of examples of inventions, patents that were designed by women, just to let the students know, look, women and you could tell them that George Washington basically signed the first Patent Act in 1790. So since then, there's been a lot of women, not tons, but we have had women invent and design amazing things like the circular saw, the computer algorithm, the life raft, wireless transmission technology, Kevlar, right, which is our bulletproof fiber, space station batteries, laser cataract surgery, and there's a plethora of others, but we'd like to see even more inventions by women, because when you look up the percent of women that actually invent and apply for patents, it's still really low today. I think I looked at something where it's like 18% is like current information with women. So we want to encourage our girls that we are sharing this information with, that women are capable of creating and inventing and being able to apply for patents. And like Mary said, Hannah, she's just this 19-year-old, but she invented something when she was like 14. And so, so it can be done with even girls as young as our camp participants. So then now it's like, I put these two questions up so that you could promote discussion. So again, we don't want our campers just to feel like they're constantly being spoken at. So ask, why might someone invent something? And this might lead to discussions on purpose behind an invention. Is there a true need to it, and what might that need have been? And then ask the students if they've ever had an idea for a new product or item, and give them a chance to collaborate and speak to one another at this point. Then we go back into Qualcomm, and this is what's called Qualcomm World of Work. After this. So we'll talk about some notable Qualcomm patents, which I've listed here, which are lock screen, airplane mode, CDMA, voice recognition, app distribution, and just ask the students if they've ever heard of any of these patents, have a tiny bit of discussion there. Maybe they have, and then go into, Qualcomm, I skipped ahead. So then we'll go into Qualcomm Fun Facts, which is on page 11. And so this is just basically testing what we just talked to the students, not really testing, but it's a fillable activity in their notebook where they can basically answer the questions. And on that page, which is here, They do have a test bank, which is also, or sorry, a word bank, which is also on the notebook page on page 11. And all you have to do is ask the kids, so what did Qualcomm stand for? And maybe call on someone in your session. Like, Caitlin, Qualcomm stands for, what is it, Caitlin?
Quality communication.
Quality communication. Great job. You know, just kind of have the students engage in this activity. So when you do this, all you have to do is hit enter and all of the answers pop up. And so this will make it a little bit more interactive with the girls instead of them just being spoken at. And let them know with IoT, it stands for Internet of Things, that we will be discussing more about IoT the following week when we start camp on Monday.